So there's an air conditioner right above you because it's Texas. So this is let's just say this is the first video in the series of the Black Label Mechanica Big Bore Kit. So back in May, I was on a motorcycle ride up in Arkansas, minding my own business. Well, yeah, almost crashed, kind of went off the road a little bit. There's a video about that. But then later on, this happened. So I'm riding around, and then all of a sudden it goes to one cylinder. All of this was on. This kicked out. There's a video about that. The pulley nut came off. The pulley loosened out. And, you know, the woodruff key slipped, and then I was on one cylinder. So all I've done so far is strip the top off the bike. I took the carbs out, batteries out. I still have to drain the oil. But I pulled this cover off, and I found my nut. So it was sitting right here, rubbing up against this belt. I had to drive like, I don't know, 15 miles to get to the next stop on one cylinder. It drives, it just drives slow. So I've done this once before when my head stud broke. This one had the chromoly head studs in it. They made it 30 years and 37,000 miles and then finally let go. But that was like a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't know, a while. So you can just take this loose. You have to take everything else off first, but you can take this bolt, big bolt out, and then this whole thing will tip down. So you can remove the jug and the head with the motor still kind of sort of in the bike. And that's what I intend to do. Because when I had the motor out the last time, I did all of my cleaning and polishing and all of my nerd stuff. And then this time, I got new jugs going on. If nothing's damaged in here, I'll reuse this head because I already did some work on it. This oil seal's leaking, but I ordered a kit, a seal kit from Gotham Cycles, so hopefully those come in there. Pretty sure they will. Getting everything ready for the big drop. I'm also pulling side covers. Can you see this? Yeah, I'm pulling side covers. Mostly because the one on the other side's worse, but they're old, they're pitted, they're scratched, the coating's coming off. So I'm going to, well, I've already prepped the other parts. I'm going to powder coat them, and then we'll reinstall them. And then I did some other dumb stuff, but that's just me. It's what I do. I gotta drain the oil, pull the exhaust off. So I drained the oil, took the exhaust off. You can do it without taking the oil cooler off, but it stays attached to the head, or it stays attached to the motor, and then it will kind of get in the way. So just save yourself some time. Go ahead and break it loose. These are 19 millimeter fittings. So a while back, these tabs broke off, and I had to TIG weld them back on. For some reason, it's always the vertical. So the new jug goes right here. We're gonna have to transfer this piece over, or don't use it, but we're gonna use it. And then you've seen me do this before. This just keeps them from walking away and not being next to each other. So normally if I was doing this, I'd want to set it at top dead center and all that other kind of stuff. But since we're taking all of this off and we're taking the jugs off, you don't really have to worry about that. We'll figure that out later. You can see where it was rubbing up against that bolt, putting grooves in it. And then this one got destroyed. No, it's a little stiff. Damn it. I think it's bent. There's only one way to find out. Don't lose that. So HDESA is the toolkit. So this is your holder majigger, and then this is your chucker for your pulleys. And they're just standard, which means lefty loosey, righty tighty. That. And then this one comes off. And there's a woodruff key. Don't lose it. And then there's this thingamajig. Don't lose that. And this one comes off. Woodruff key. Don't lose that. I don't know if this goes back on or not. I'll have to see. And then because I'm here already, I'm gonna take this one off. Yeah, that one spins a lot stiffer than this one. You may have some valve damage. If you're only doing this one, you can just bust it loose right here. You gotta take the shock off. You gotta take your fender off. And this thing will drop down enough to where you can get it out right here. But since I'm doing both, I'm gonna take this one off first. Then it'll give me a little bit more space. The important part is your seals. don't lose your seals, because you can reuse them if they're not broken. And so it doesn't look like we have a leak on the head, because you got a good clean line right there. If it was blowing, leaking on the head, it would have a, there's a little bit right there, but it's not going all the way through. We will clean this up and put it on the bench. There's another seal in this head, or this jug. Don't lose that unless you bought a kit. And then this jug will pull off. The whole clutch assembly has to come off when we pull this side cover off. But for now, we can use it to rotate the motor. So pulling the jug, gasket's coming with it. Oh, oil lines. Stupid! These go over here. It's a different bag. Those go in a bag. I keep those. I'm pulling this jug off, even though it keeps dripping on me. Got it. Is what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break, go eat some dinner. And I don't know how this better not bolt to that. I mean, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna take a break. Y'all take a break. GoPro, stop recording. Goal is in this video to get that vertical head off to inspect for damage. So first is take this fender off. So now I got to take the shock loose. When you do that, this is going to want to fold up, or this is going to want to fall down. So you got to support this with something. You could, I don't know, you could do something. But what I'm going to do is I'm running a strap here because I'm in a shipping container. I can run a hook there. I can run a hook here. I can jack this whole thing up with a strap. That's pretty good. You can take one of them loose, but then it's going to kind of fall and get in your way. So just take the whole thing off. It's not that hard. Okay, pop these little rubber doodads out. So this one is a 14. And over there it's number 8 on the Allen. Okay, so the only thing holding this motor on is this one, and then it's attached here. So we kind of got to give it a little support. When we pull that loose, I'm going to need to take the slave cylinder off before that gets bent, and I'm going to cut all these zip ties so these wires will pull down. Right over here. They're connected to the bottom of the motor, stator and those things that make the coils fire. So I'm going to jack this up until it's a little bit supported underneath that. Back together and you won't lose it. Then we gotta go down. Oh yeah. Now we're in business. So we should be able to clear now. So that looks like a impact line right here. Looks like it smacked the piston. Yeah, so that valve is definitely bent. So here's the problem with those clips. This one's fine. Taking them off is pretty easy. When you try to put them back on, that one wants to fall inside the motor every time. So what I will do is you're gonna take a rag and you're gonna put it underneath there, so when you put your clip in, it falls onto the rag and not into the motor. Don't rush it at all. You can see I'm getting distracted by cleaning stuff. I'm trying not to do that. We'll pull this piston out, and then we'll pull that piston out. Then we can stuff rags in there and get everything covered, and then we can clean and continue and all that other kind of stuff. It's harder when it's not on the bike, but what I do is I take a little screwdriver, this little bitty one right here, and then you pry it like that to get it moving. And then I made these pliers with a notch in them, and then you can grab it like this, and the notch, and then you just kind of, oh, sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. Sorry, trying to look at the same time. You kind of give it a little pull, and there it goes. But the notch holds it, see? So we're gonna keep those, I think. We got new ones of these. So we're gonna push this back into the piston, because the risk of dropping it in the motor is real. Woo! Got it. Landed on my leg. So I'm gonna push this one out and then we'll do it. There's a big chunk of goo right here. Big chunk of carbon buildup. Okay, so here's my valve, right? You can see it, and you can see it's a little bent up, right? Watch what happens when I spin it. See how it goes oblong? So it's not closing all the way. You pull it all the way in, you can see it's warped. So the valve's got a bend to it. See when I do the exhaust valve? Well, it may be bent too. Hold on. Can't see. Yeah, I think the exhaust valve got dinged too. So not to worry. I have a spare head. It doesn't have as much work done to it as this one does. And I need to pull the cam and see what kind of cam's in here. So let's just do that right now. We can pop this cover off and take a look. So there may be a shim right here. See this shim? Don't lose that. That goes with this. And if you rotate it up, you can see that it, well, I don't know if you can see it, but it says VHT. So that's just like a regular stock cam for this model. So if I throw the other head on there, I'm not losing any lift or anything. It'll be about the same. And what I'll do is, I gotta check valves. You know what, I can do that right now. 43 millimeters. 43 millimeters. .37 millimeters. Yeah. Okay. So that just means I have to work on this head. So let's take a look and see at this, the difference in the port. Maybe they're the same. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Okay, so they're pretty close. Let's see. $34. 34. Yeah. This one just got a little polishing action in it. So does this one. Not as good though. So this one says V2, this one says V1. So in another video, I will disassemble this head, take the valves out, clean the valves, polish the valves, clean all of this carbon buildup off. Then we'll lap the valves to the valve seat so we get a good seal, and then we'll check it. So this is just some soapy water. No bubbles? So see, we got a leak on the exhaust side. I'm gonna have to look up the difference between V1 and V2 heads. I don't know if there's a preference. Okay. Thanks for watching. Oh, y'all got schmutz on your face. Sorry. I'll bring you back when we do something new.